Top 10 New Web Series on Netflix 2022. There's more streaming competition than ever, but even still, Netflix remains on top when it comes to both breadth and scale. Hey guys, welcome to your entertainment channel Netflix Tops, where we tell you about the top-rated movies and series on Netflix. So subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos. Now grab your popcorn and stay with us until the end of this video, because today's video is going to list down the top 10 new web series on Netflix 2022. So, let's get started. Number 10. The Watcher. This eerie psychological thriller is based on a bizarre true story documented in viral New York Magazine article about a house that was haunted in a unique, chilling way. Naomi Watts and Bobby Cannavale star as a couple who move into a gorgeous house in New Jersey and start to receive mysterious threatening letters from a stalker. The Watcher is based on real events, following a family that moves into a seemingly perfect suburban home. But when the family receives threatening letters in the mail from someone named The Watcher, they quickly realize they're in for some Netflix-prescribed trouble. Number 9. Better Call Saul. After the groundbreaking success of Breaking Bad, many thought that perhaps any spin-off series would not be able to top its predecessor. Better Call Saul proved that assumption wrong. The first season of the series showed just how much of a contender it was as one of the best television series and spin-offs ever made. The black and white flash-forwards of the first 5 seasons kept the audience guessing how Jimmy McGill became Saul Goodman, and how Saul Goodman would ultimately end up working as a Cinnabon manager named Gene Tekovic in Nebraska, sharing a similar fate to Walter White, Bryan Cranston in Breaking Bad. Better Call Saul shows us how their protagonist gets consumed by power, greed, and money. The 6th and final season of Better Call Saul gives a tragic but necessary ending to Jimmy, Saul, Gene. Number 8. The Ultimatum. Marry or move on. What would you do if your partner asked you to marry them on the spot or break up? That question is the basis of this reality series. It makes for fabulous television. The Ultimatum features 6 couples who put their relationships to the test by trading partners in a social experiment that's meant to test if they're really ready for marriage. Number 7. Archive 81. If you count yourself as one of the many disturbing podcast junkies or cult narrative superfans, then Archive 81 is the perfect watch for you. When an archivist is assigned to recover a series of damaged tapes, he soon learns that the recordings document a satanic cult. As he works to uncover the truth, he'll also need to fight from being pulled in himself. Number 6. Afterlife. For a show oriented around grieving, fans might have a tough time parting from this dark comedy. Ricky Gervais, who also writes and directs the episodes, stars as Tony, a widower who must navigate life after losing his wife. In the most recent batch of episodes, Tony faces a new journey of grieving as he processes the loss of his father. While there are lots of TV shows about death and murder, there are very few that really examine the experience of grief. And the last person you might expect to give us a sensitive depiction of loss is the man famed for cringe comedy, Ricky Gervais. But while it looks a little strange on paper, Afterlife is exceptionally funny and devastating in equal measure. When Tony loses his wife to cancer, the only reason he has to get out of bed in the morning is his dog. The rest of his life feels empty, his job at the local paper seems pointless, and the world infuriates him. Number 5. Ozark. Years ago, most of us wouldn't have imagined that the next nail-biting thriller on television would star Jason Bateman. But this spring, America's favorite criminal couple faced the end of their scheming in the 4th and final season of Ozark. Well, at least on Netflix. Ozark is a crime drama that follows financial advisor Marty Bride, Jason Bateman, who moves his family to the Ozarks after being forced to launder money for the Mexican drug cartel. For 3 seasons, fans follow the Braids as they fall deep into the underworld of money laundering, and their lives and morals are turned upside down because of it. On January 2022, the Bride family returned for their 4th and final season of Ozark, with Season 4 as one of the most intense and dramatic seasons of the series. The story brings even more drama and twists in every hidden corner. What audiences can take away from the ending is that no amount of money and power can overweigh the luxury of freedom. The Braids eventually bid their final goodbyes. Number 4. Inventing Anna. As the internet consistently reminds us, they hate to see a girl boss winning. That's especially true when that girl boss is guilty of fraud. No, we're not talking about Elizabeth Holmes. We're talking about New York's favorite fake heiress, Anna Delvey, whose life of glamour and grand larceny took a steep turn when she was arrested in 2017. Based on Jessica Pressler's viral expose for The Cut, Julia Garner, Anna Klumsky, and Laverne Cox star in the scandalous Shutterland adaptation. The series is inspired by real events, telling the true story behind Russian-born fake German heiress Anna Sorkit, Julia Garner, the fraudster who conned New York high society out of thousands, and the magazine journalist determined to tell Anna's story. Vivian, Anna Klumsky, is a fictionalized version of journalist Jessica Pressler, who first broke the wild true story back in 2017, and who in the series battles both millionaires and her own editors in order to get the story out. Number 3. Love is Blind. A reality dating show that seemed to be tailor-made for love in the time of COVID-19 when it debuted in 2020, Love is Blind returned for another season of pod romance. The new season followed its previous format, in which contestants got to know one another without being able to see each other. But don't worry, this season sees plenty of new twists. In this relationship reality sensation, a bunch of single people are sequestered in a house where they meet potential romantic partners. They get to know each other while talking for hours in pods, where they can't see each other. Some of them get engaged, and then we follow them as they try to make it work outside of the pods and prepare for their weddings. It drops in batches of episodes over the course of a few weeks, each covering a different part of the process. It's a fascinating social experiment with jaw-dropping surprises and wild characters. Number 2. Vikings Valhalla. The Norsemen and Norse women of Vikings, history's cult favorite action-packed historical drama, have rode their way to Netflix for Vikings Valhalla, a sequel series that covers the next epoch of the Viking reign. Whether you're a history buff or only know the name Leif Erikson from the SpongeBob episode, the History Channel spin-off Vikings Valhalla is a surefire thriller. Following the Vikings as they raid across Europe, the series depicts some of the most famous Norsemen, tracking their legacies along the new developments in civilization, like the origins of Norse paganism. Valhalla has a new cast and is set a century after the original show, and follows Leif Erikson's Sam Corlett journey as he becomes the first European to set foot on North America alongside his sister Frida Gustafsson, as well as Harald Hardarda, Leo Sutter, who tried and failed to claim the English throne. So yes, this show is building toward the end of the Viking Age. If you like the clanging of swords and sexy bearded warriors of the original Vikings, you'll definitely want to check this out because it's more of that. Number 1. Stranger Things. Stranger Things is Netflix's biggest show, and probably the biggest show on television right now. After 3 long years, Stranger Things is finally back with its 4th season. The new episodes see Eleven adjusting to a new home in California, wistfully writing to Mike about their reunion over spring break. Guess what? Things go to shit. Explosions, creepy dolls, and a horrifying new villain. The sabbatical wasn't too leisurely. Season 4 was the biggest season yet, with multiple 90-minute episodes and the finale running a Marvel-esque 2.5 hours. It added an intriguing new villain and welcomed new heroes, set streaming records, and solidified its spot among pop culture's elite. And even though Season 4 wasn't always the best season, its biggest moments were among the series' most memorable. But you probably just came back to feel the comfort of hanging out with your old friends like Steve, Joe Keery. And this brings us to the end of the video. What are your thoughts on today's video? Share with us in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for amazing movie reviews coming your way. And thank you for watching.